What's up, world? This is Salim with Flip for Figs, and today I'll be unboxing and reviewing Clone Commander CODY 2.0 from Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. Let's do it.
Flip for Figs.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.
Alright, so here's everything that comes in the box. You obviously get CODY himself. You also get the Phase 1 helmet, and then this is exclusive to the 2.0 version of CODY. So the original Commander CODY did have the Temuera Morrison head sculpt, and I believe it's the same exact head sculpt, but it only had the Phase 2 helmet, not the Phase 1. I love Phase 1 helmets, so I knew I had to get this version of CODY because I just something about the Phase 1 helmets I really love. Like I said, I think this is the same Temuera Morrison head sculpt that you got with the original CODY, and it's also similar to the one that came with Jango Fett. I'll have to compare them both at some point to see if there's some differences there, but as far as I can tell, it looks pretty similar, especially since he had a similar hairstyle. Unlike with Captain Rex, where he has kind of the blonde buzzed cut, and some of the others, this figure is one of the few where he has kind of a full head of hair. You have this jetpack, which is magnetic, kind of small to be picking up, like a 6 foot tall person, but I guess it works. You get the short blaster here, as well as the long blaster rifle. You also get two pistols right here, which is kind of nice, but I haven't yet seen a place to holster them. So maybe, nope, no place to holster them. It would have been cool if there was like some calf or holsters, but I don't know how accurate that would have been. And then you get this arm, which is cell battery operated, and it has a little opening here for you to stick, different holograms on. And let's see, so you get Sidious, you get, I think, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then I think that's the airborne trooper right there. And you get the same exact hands that you got with the airborne trooper and the other clones as well. And so for this, it is a button cell battery operated, unfortunately. I don't know many people that like fussing with them, but you just remove this panel right here. I already put in the batteries, and then you just flip the switch. You could see the light coming on there. And I saw in some reviews that Yoda looks the best because he's small and the light travels pretty high, but I'm definitely going to have Sidious because we're executing Order 66 in my display. And so let's just see how that looks. It's not a precise fit. You kind of have to squeeze it in there, but it still looks pretty good. But let's see without it. So yeah, I mean, big difference. So I may have to get like a fusion reactors type of solution here to wire this up. It seems like a lot of work, but it may be worth it because that actually looks pretty good. In reviews I saw it didn't look that strong, but here in front of me it looks pretty good. So yeah, that's everything that comes in the box, and then you do get this same sand base that you got with the airborne trooper. Nice texture, no footprints, thank goodness. And then you get a couple different range finders that you can attach to the side of the Phase 2 helmet or the Phase 1 helmet. All right, there he is right out of the box. I think he looks awesome. I love Commander Cody. For a long time, he was really the only named clone that I knew about. I'd heard of Captain Rex as well, but it wasn't until recently where I really started kind of figuring out which clones I wanted to buy and trying to justify buying clones, that I learned the different personalities. But I still think Cody is my favorite. And unboxing this so close after the Airborne Trooper, there's a lot of similarities. Obviously, they're both from the same 212th Battalion, so you get a lot of the same kind of orange and white markings everywhere. And he's really scuffed up, but it looks very natural, which I like. It doesn't look like they just kind of copied and pasted the weathering. It looks very much like he's been in battle and he's been, kicking butt and taking names and all that stuff. The body underneath is the same clone body we've come to expect. And then, unlike the Airborne Trooper, there's no straps or anything like that, but this sculpted belt just sits around. And then you have this compact there. I don't see a way to remove the belt. I guess you could probably squeeze it out if you wanted to, but I don't see why anyone would want to. And then, one thing that I noticed when taking it out of the box was just the joints here, because it doesn't go into like the base of the foot, it just kind of sits right here. This feels really loose to me, and I don't like that. To be honest with you, the first word I thought of was kind of that it seemed kind of cheap the way they did that. But other than the ankle joints, everything else looks really good. So this piece, which I guess is also a rangefinder or something, it goes here on the shoulder. And then this one can go over here, just like that. But I think it's kind of a lot going on, especially since you have this. So I'm going to just keep this displayed without it, but I will keep this in there just so there isn't kind of that unsightly gap. And then, let's take a look at how he looks with the Phase 1 helmet on. All right, there he is with the Phase 1 helmet on, and I just love this so much. Frustratingly enough, I don't know what I'm going to do with this helmet, because I want Cody helmeted in his Phase 2 look, holding the Sidious hologram in my Episode 3 display. So I think I've just decided that I will need to get another Cody to display with the Temuera Morrison head sculpt, kind of holding this Phase 1 helmet, and I plan to do that in my Clone Wars display with a bunch of the other clones like Fives and Echo and Rex and Jesse and all them. That's somehow Hot Toys always finds a way to get me to spend more money than I need to. And then there is the Temuera Morrison head sculpt. Don't quote me, but I think it's the same one that came with the Phase or the original Commander Cody. It also looks similar to the one that came with Jango Fett. I'll have to compare them. But no moving eyes, which is interesting because this figure was released this year in 2025, and almost every single Hot Toys figure now from Star Wars has moving eyes. And this was a limited edition one, so you think that they would have included that, but they didn't. Alrighty, here's Cody. So I've been wanting Cody ever since I started collecting Star Wars Hot Toys figures, and I was ready to pull the trigger on a Cody figure from eBay. And then that very same day, Hot Toys Instagram showed us this and the Airborne Trooper. And I was super excited because they had kind of rumored a reissue of Cody, and then this one was going to come with the Phase 1 helmet. So I was really excited about that because I love Phase 1 helmets. And so, pre-ordered it, and the rest is history. Now, first impressions out of the box, it's a solid figure, but I'm having some issues. I'm having issues with my ankle joints, which is not normal. There's no way the foot just kind of slides in and out without any pressure. And also my Phase 1 helmet, when swapping it out, the fleshy cylindrical piece got detached from the inside of the helmet, so now it won't stay on. So it's making me realize that maybe I got a dud I've never had that happen with Hot Toys before. Every figure I've ever gotten has always been great. I've seen quality control issues online from other users, but so I guess it was only a matter of time before it affected me, and it's kind of hindering my ability to review it. You know, the way I normally would. Like I thought I would be gushing over this figure, and there's a lot to like. The sculpt work is really great. The detail, the weathering, the paint applications, all of that's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. I love that we get all the interchangeable holograms. You know, the accessories are cool. It's got more accessories than I thought he was going to come with. You know, Temuera Morrison head sculpt is great. But overall, you know, when comparing it to the original CODY, it seems like it literally is just a reissue, but they added a Phase 1 helmet, which is fine with me because I don't have the other CODY, so it's not like it's duplicative for me at all. But I'm just kind of bummed out because, you know, like I said, mine is plagued with all these issues, and I'm hoping that even though it's waitlisted, somehow Sideshow will be able to do something for me. If not, then we're going to have a problem. I may have to return it and get it from like Toys Assemble, or just get the original one off eBay. So yeah, overall, you know, it's a good looking figure. I'm excited to pair it with the, you know, the Airborne Trooper in my Revenge of the Sith display. You know, I think there's a lot to like I said. The, you know, the helmet looks great. The Phase 1 helmet looks great. The Temuera Morrison head sculpt is exactly what you would expect it to be. The jetpack is a nice touch. So so yeah, here we are, Clone Commander CODY. So score wise, I'm gonna pretend that I didn't have those issues with the figure, and I'm gonna pretend that it came out perfect, just like every one of my other Hot Toys releases. And if that was the case, I would give it a 9 out of 10 because I love the helmet, I love the armor, I love CODY. I think it's a great looking figure. I'm happy we got a reissue. It's even better that it's limited edition. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10 because that's the score that CODY deserves. But again, my whole experience with this figure thus far has been plagued by the issues that I've had. Alrighty, folks, if you enjoyed this review, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. I do, you know, Hot Toys reviews whenever I get new figures. I also do weekly figure matchups, which are also like reviews as well, except you're getting 2 figures at once and one wins at the end. But yeah, I also collect, you know, Lego, Star Wars Lego, and all kinds of stuff in between. So yeah, I would love for your support, and I hope to see you next time.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.